Hi students, today I am going to discuss about the P block elements. This is in inorganic chemistry. So far we discussed here the physical chemistry. That first 5 chapters is physical chemistry that carries 23 marks in the board examination. Then the P block elements, D and F block elements, the coordination chemistry for the academic year 2021 is 19 marks. For these 3 lessons having 19 marks. First I am going to discuss here the P block element. The P block elements, mainly you have to concentrate the reactivity like acidic strength, increasing acidic strength, basic strength, then the bond dissociation enthalpy, the decreasing order, increasing order, like this. So this you have to concentrate. Then after that, structures, the complete the chemical equations, then reasoning type, account for the following, then the chemical properties, preparation. So these things you have to concentrate. So in this lesson you can concentrate these things, mean you can get a more mark in this lesson. Hi students, see today we are going to discuss about the P block elements. See, this is the inorganic chemistry part. This unit we are going to discuss about the 2015 paper to 2020 question paper. Now in this unit you have to concentrate more in this part. First one is the order of the reactivity. The order of the reactivity means, see, the reactivity of the elements or group, usually the increasing order of the acidic strength, the basic strength, the bond dissociation enthalpy, like this. So this is the order of the reactivity based on that question. Then the reasoning type question, account for the following, give reason for that. That's mean the reasoning type question. Why happens like this? Then the complete the equation. The complete the equations mean the reactant side, only half of the part is given that question, remaining you have to write the product with the balanced equation. So that is the complete the equations type question. Then very important one, the structures. The draw the structure for the oxo acids of halogens, so many structures of their sulfur. I think see this types of structures will come definitely 2 or 3 marks. So that you have to more concentrate the structure. Then the chemical properties, mainly the chemical properties of the P block element. See, in this P block element we are going to discuss here group 15 element, group 16, group 17 and the group 18 element. In class 11 we already studied, that is group 13 and 14. Here 15, 16, 17 and 18 elements. Now we'll see some more questions here. Hi students, today so the inorganic chemistry, we are going to discuss about the inorganic chemistry. The chapter name is P block element. The year of the question paper we are going to discuss here, that is 2015 to 2020 question and answers. See, in this chapter you have to mainly concentrate about the order of the reactivity. What is that order of the reactivity? Order of the reactivity means, see, the order of the increasing strength of the acidic, that is increasing acidic strength, increasing the basic strength, increasing the bond dissociation enthalpy or decreasing the bond dissociation enthalpy, like this. So this indicates the order of the reactivity. In this based on the question you can expect. Then the reasoning type question. The reasoning type means that is what happens like this. Say give reason or account for the following. So these types of the questions are called the reasoning type question. Then the complete the equations. Usually the reactant sides are given in that question paper. You have to complete the equation with the product, with the balanced equation. That is the very important thing. So that is called complete the equation types of question. After that, mainly the structures. The structure of the oxo acids, halogens, like the so many different types of structures are there. That is in P block elements. In group 15, 16, 17, 18 elements. You have to remember that structure. That is the possible question. At least 2 mark questions will come this type of structures. Then the chemical properties. The chemical properties of the P block element. The P block means group 15, group 16 and group 17 and the group 18 element. You have to concentrate this part, you can score more marks in this lesson. Now we will see some question and answer in this session. See, look at the question as arrange the following in the order to property indicated for each set. The first set is given here: H2O, H2S, H2CSE, H2T. That is increasing acidic strength you have to write. Then second question is HF, HCl, HBr, HI, decreasing the bond dissociation enthalpy, simply bond enthalpy. Now the increasing order of the H2O, H2S like this, then the decreasing order of the bond enthalpy. So first you have to write the increasing acidic character for this question. Now the H2O, the first question answer is H2O is less than increasing the acidic character. So water, then after that H2S, after that is less than H2SE, then H2TE. So this is the increasing acidic character of this given compound. So water is less than H2S, less than H2SE, less than H2TE, hydrogen, selenium and tellurium, like this. Then the second question, this is the first question answer. Then the second question is decreasing order of the bond enthalpy, decreasing order of the bond enthalpy. So second question answer is HF is greater than HCl is greater than HBr is greater than HI. So this is the order of the bond enthalpy, that is for decreasing order of the bond enthalpy. So in case increasing the order of bond enthalpy means you have to write just opposite, you have to change the sign instead of less than. That is greater than means you have to use the less than. So this is the arrange the following, like order of the reactivity type question. Some more example we can see now. See, look at the similar type of question. Arrange the following order of the property indicator for each set. The given is question is HF, HCl, HBr, HI. The question is decreasing order. You have to write the decreasing order of the reducing power. Then second is HF, HCl, HBr, HI, increasing order of the acidic strength. So you have to write the increasing order of the acidic strength for this question and the decreasing order of the reducing power for this question. The given compounds are same. See here first question, the answer is HI. See, HI is decreasing order of the reducing power. So HI is greater than HBr is greater than HCl is greater than HF. So this is the reducing power, decreasing order of the reducing power for the first question. Then the second question, increasing order of the acidic strength. You know that the strong acid is what HI. So then after that HBr, then HCl, then HF. So increasing order means, so you have to write the second question answer is HF is less than HCl is less than HBr less than HI. So here the most acidic strength, most increasing the acidic power for hydrogen iodide. This having the acidic strength, more acidic strength compared to HBr, compared to HCl, compared to HF. So this you can see in this the properties and the tabular columns are given. You can see that they are given the acidic strength, that some what is called, the values are given there. You can see that bond dissociation enthalpy, that atomic radii. So many things are given there. You can see whether that question is which order is there. Reducing power or acidic strength, increasing power. So you can see there. After that you can easily identify whether the question is increasing strength or decreasing strength. You can easily identify this type of question. See, look at this question. Give reason for the following. The first question is sulfur in vapor state shows paramagnetic behavior. Then ozone is thermodynamically less stable than oxygen. Third question, when chlorine reacts with excess of F2 and ClF3 is formed and not FCl3. ClF3 is formed not in the FCl3. Then dioxygen is a gas while sulfur is a solid at room temperature. Why? So you have to answer for this question. First, the first question is what here? Sulfur in vapor state shows paramagnetic behavior only. Why? So the reason is here in the sulfur there is presence of unpaired electrons. There is two unpaired electrons are present in the sulfur, like oxygen is vapor state. So like O2 in the vapor state. Here it is due to the presence of unpaired electron in sulfur. That is presence of two unpaired electron in sulfur, like O2 in vapor state. That is oxygen in the vapor state. That is why sulfur vapor state shows paramagnetic behavior. So reason is you have to indicate the key pointers, presence of unpaired electron in sulfur. That is why shows paramagnetic behavior. Usually you know that no unpaired electrons mean that is in the diamagnetic behavior. Presence of unpaired electrons mean that is in the paramagnetic behavior. Then second, ozone is thermodynamically less stable than oxygen. Give reason. Here the ozone, the O3 having the low bond dissociation energy because of the due to the which is more reactive, therefore that liberates the nascent oxygen. For example, here that's O3 gives say I'll draw here. The O3 it converts to O2 and nascent oxygen. That is why the reason ozone is a thermodynamically less stable than oxygen. Reason is that is nascent oxygen. Mainly you have to write this equation also because of the they have the low bond dissociation energy. Okay, because of the due to the more reactive reason. Then the third question is given that when chlorine reacts with excess of fluorine, ClF3 is formed. So when chlorine is react with excess of fluorine, ClF3 is formed and not FCl3. What is the reason here? Here, look at this ClF3. The ClF3 having the chlorine has a d orbital. This chlorine has a d orbital, but where in this case of FCl3, fluorine does not have the d orbital, and also fluorine cannot show the positive oxidation state, that is +3. Here this FCl3 means +3, chlorine having +3 oxidation state. So this is the reason you have to write this ClF3 exists because of chlorine has d orbitals, whereas FCl3 does not exist as F, does not have d orbital. So fluorine cannot show the +3 oxidation state. So this is the answer. Then the fourth question. Dioxygen is a gas while sulfur is a solid at room temperature. Why? Here the dioxygen having a less surface area. So then less van der Waals forces of attraction. So that is why they have a p-pi bond. That is why they shows that is dioxygen is a gas. Okay. In the case of sulfur is a octatomic. Dioxygen is a diatomic molecule. Sulfur is a octatomic molecule. This is having less surface area. This sulfur having large surface area. That is more surface area. So more intermolecular forces of attraction. Here less van der Waals forces of attraction. In the case of sulfur having more intermolecular forces of attraction. That is why they are in solid, exist at a solid in the room temperature. Main reason is here you have to write dioxygen is a diatomic molecule. They have a p-pi bond and less surface area. So then while sulfur, it is an octatomic molecule. and they have a more interaction forces. Here the less interaction, van der Waals forces. Here the more interaction forces are there, and the main reason is it is an octaatomic molecule. So that is why this and more surface area, that is why this exists at a solid at room temperature. So this is the reasoning type of the question. Some more questions also we have to see now. See, look at this question. What happens when concentrate sulfuric acid is added to copper? Then the second question, sulfur trioxide SO3 is passed through water. Now, see the first question, the sulfuric acid added to copper, that means copper react with the sulfuric acid. So concentrate sulfuric acid. So what happens? It produces copper sulfate. Mainly it produces a copper sulfate and sulfur dioxide, then water molecule. So now the reaction is not balanced. So that just copper already is balanced. So that just balancing the equation, I am writing 2H2SO4 means it gives, see, SO2 and 2H2O. Now the equation is balanced. So concentrated sulfuric acid is added to copper means it produces copper sulfate. So this is the answer. It produces copper sulfate, and you have to write the equation. Then the second question. Sulfur trioxide is passed through the water. What happens when sulfur trioxide is passed through water? Now, the sulfur trioxide, look at this, the sulfur trioxide passed through water, it undergoes a hydrolysis process, it produces sulfuric acid. Simply you can write it produces sulfuric acid, H2SO4. So, this is the answer. You have to write it produces sulfuric acid. In the first question, it produces copper sulfate. So that is the key point, and also you have to write the equation. Now the equation carries half mark and the answer carries half mark. So this question 1 mark, and similarly this question 1 mark. See the next question. What happens when HCl is added to manganese dioxide? The second question is PCl5 is heated, then fluorine reacts with water. Now the answer, first question answer is what happens when HCl added to the manganese dioxide? So manganese dioxide and concentrated HCl gives, simply they gives manganese chloride and the chlorine gas, then water. So this is the reaction. Now you have to balance the reaction. Manganese is balanced, then the oxygen you have to balance here, then the chlorine also you have to balance. So number of chlorine is 4, so that's why I am putting here 4. The 4 HCl means now the equation is balanced, that means hydrogen 2. So now the equation is balanced. So MnO2 plus 4 HCl gives MnCl2, manganese chloride, chlorine and the water. So here what HCl is added to manganese dioxide mean it produce manganese chloride. So you have to write produce manganese chloride, or the equation is the correct form. Then the second question, PCl5 is heated. On heating that PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride, on heating what happens mean it converts to PCl3 and Cl2, chlorine, phosphorus trichloride and the chlorine. So on heating, PCl5 on heating gives PCl3 and Cl2. Then fluorine reacts with water. The question is fluorine reacts with water. So fluorine and water molecule, it produces hydrogen fluoride. We can simply say hydrogen fluoride, then it possible is oxygen. Now balance the equation. So here the 2 hydrogen fluorine, so that just put 2 fluorine, then hydrogen is here also just put 2 HF, and here the hydrogen is 2, but look at this 2 hydrogen, 2 fluorine is balanced. Then oxygen is not balanced. So that just writing here 4, that's mean 2 O2, then just balance the equation like this, hydrogen is just put 4 HF. Now the equation is balanced. So fluorine reacts with water means it produces hydrogen fluoride. So 2 moles of fluorine react with 2 moles of water to produce 4 moles of hydrogen fluoride and oxygen. So this is the reasoning type questions. The next question is complete the following reaction. The first question, chlorine react with water to gives what? Second, xenon hexafluoride react with water to gives what? Third, fluorine react with chloride ion to gives what? Xenon difluoride react with water to gives what? Then sodium chloride reacts with manganese dioxide and sulfuric acid to gives what? Xenon tetrafluoride and react with water to gives what? First question, the answer is when the chlorine react with water to produce HCl and the H4Cl, hydrogen chloride and the hypochlorous acid. See, are 2 moles of the hydrogen chloride HCl and the nascent oxygen. Then the second question answer is here xenon hexafluoride react with water to gives what? Here the equation already is not balanced, so that reaction xenon hexafluoride react with 3 moles of water to produce xenon trioxide and the hydrogen fluoride, 6 moles of the hydrogen fluoride. Now the equation also balanced. Here the xenon trioxide is the highly explosive, that is 25 times more than trinitrotoluene, that is TNT. So highly explosive chemicals. Then fluorine react with chloride ion. So here the fluorine react with 2 moles of chloride ion, it produce 2 moles of fluoride ion and the chlorine. Then xenon difluoride react with water. Here the 2 moles of xenon difluoride react with 2 moles of water molecule to produce 2 moles of xenon and 4 moles of the hydrogen fluoride. Then the remaining is oxygen gases evolved here. Then look at this fifth question. 4 moles of NaCl and 1 mole of MnO2 react to gives 4 moles, and 4 moles of H2SO4 also react to gives what? Mean here 1 mole of the manganese chloride and 4 moles of the sodium hydrogen sulfate and 2 moles of water, then chlorine gases evolved. So this is the answer. Then the last one, 6 moles of xenon tetrafluoride react with 12 moles of water molecule to produce 4 moles of xenon and 24 moles of hydrogen fluoride, then 2 moles of xenon trioxide, then 3 moles of oxygen gases evolved. So here already I said that xenon trioxide is a highly explosive chemicals, and this is 25 times more than trinitrotoluene. Okay, look at the question, students. Fluorine is a stronger oxidizing agent than chlorine. Why? The first question, fluorine is a stronger oxidizing agent. You know that chlorine is a stronger oxidizing agent than chlorine. What's the reason here? Here the fluorine, here the low bond dissociation enthalpy, higher hydration energy of fluoride ion and the high electron gain enthalpy. That is why fluorine is a stronger oxidizing agent. I repeat this, it is due to the low bond dissociation enthalpy, higher hydration energy of fluoride ion and high electron gain enthalpy. This is the reason fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent. So you have to write the key point is what? Low bond dissociation enthalpy of fluorine, higher hydration energy of fluoride ion and the high electron gain enthalpy. So this is the reason. Then write one use of chlorine gas, the chlorine gases. The chlorine gas used means it is act as a disinfectant. So you can use it in the bleaching agent like this. So that one use of chlorine gas means you can write it. It is used as a bleaching agent and as disinfectant. So, okay, then the third question. Look at this. Ion-on reaction with HCl forms iron 2 chloride and not iron 3 chloride. Why? That is ferrous chloride, not ferric chloride is formed. Because here the evaluation of the hydrogen gas prevents the formation of the ferric chloride. That is the reason. So, ion-on reaction with HCl forms FeCl2 and not FeCl3. Why? So, the reason is you have Fe reacts with HCl to form FeCl2 and hydrogen gas. So, evolved hydrogen gas prevents the formation of the ferric chloride. So, this is the reason, production of the hydrogen gas. Then, the last question, the considering the parameters. Look at this, the considering the parameters such as bond dissociation enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy and the hydration enthalpy. Compare the oxidizing power of the fluorine and chlorine. So, the question you have carefully read this question, you have to read this question carefully, considering the parameters such as bond dissociation enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy and hydration enthalpy. Compare the oxidizing power of fluorine and chlorine only. Okay. So, here electron gain enthalpy. First, in the electron gain enthalpy, fluorine has a less electron gain enthalpy than chlorine. According to that table, you can see that table. Then, next is the fluorine has a lower bond dissociation enthalpy than chlorine. First answer is what? The fluorine is less electron gain enthalpy than chlorine. Then next one is it has lower bond dissociation enthalpy than chlorine. That is, fluorine has the lower bond dissociation enthalpy than chlorine. Then the fluoride ion has the higher enthalpy of the hydration than the chloride ion. So, fluoride ion is a higher enthalpy of hydration than the chloride ion. Then another one more is the fluorine is the stronger oxidizing agent than chlorine because of the highest standard electrode potential, that is the reduction potential. So, I repeat this answer, the comparison of the fluorine and chlorine for bond dissociation enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy and hydration enthalpy, oxidizing power. So, first electron gain enthalpy, fluorine has less electron gain enthalpy than chloride ion, that is chlorine. Then fluorine has lower bond dissociation enthalpy than chlorine. Then fluoride ion has higher enthalpy of hydration than chloride ion. Then fluorine is a stronger oxidizing agent than chlorine because of the fluorine has highest standard electrode, that is standard reduction potential. So, this is the answer. Now, we will discuss the structure. Next, we will discuss the structure. Look at this. Draw the structures of the following. The questions are given here. XeF2, second is BrF5, third is H2S2O7, fourth is H2S2O8 and the fifth is H2SO3. See, first just go through my lectures video, that is some tricks are given how to draw the structure. The similar tricks I am going to follow here also. First, xenon difluoride, it is a linear structure. So, Xe, they have the lone pair of electron like this, then fluorine. So, it has a linear structure. It has a linear structure. XeF2 is a linear structure. Then the BrF5, second is a BrF5. Just draw the Br, the central atom. Then surrounded that 5 fluorine atom, just write it here like this. Then the remaining 1 fluorine atom are there. This you have to write 1 lone pair of electron. So, this having a square pyramidal structure, this having a square pyramidal structure. So this is the second structure. Then third, fourth and fifth structure. See, H2S2O7, that is volume. See, the H2S2O7 means just write the sulfur atom here like this. 2 sulfur atoms are there. So H2S2O7. So that just write, simply write it like this. Now the remaining is what? Hydrogen and oxygen. So number of oxygen is what? 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 oxygen atoms are balanced here. Then the remaining 2 hydrogen atoms. So 1 hydrogen atom here, or you can write it here also, and 1 more hydrogen atom. Then the remaining you have to satisfy with the bond, that is double bond. Now the structure of volume like this. Then H2S2O8. Simply you can write it H2S2O8. I will write it here, the structure. Simply similar way you have to draw like this. Simply write like this. Then simply write like this. Just like a arrow mark. Just like a arrow mark. So that this in between having that central atom. Now the remaining oxygen is what here? Oxygen, 8 oxygen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just connect with these 2 oxygen, and the remaining you have to what? Remaining is what here? Hydrogen. So just write it, the hydrogen here and the hydrogen here. Then just satisfy the double bond. Now this is H2S2O8. Then finally H2S2O3. So here write the central atom, the least one, sulfur. Then the similar way oxygen is 3. So 1 sulfur is having 1 lone pair of electron. So just I am writing here the 3 oxygen. Then 2 hydrogen. So the 2 hydrogen just write like this, and the double bond. So now the H2SO3. Similarly H2SO4. Suppose you have H2SO4 means just write here the number of oxygen. So here H2SO4, yes, 4 oxygen atoms are there. Then the remaining hydrogen is 2. So just write it the hydrogen, 2 hydrogen, then balance the oxygen. This is the structure of H2SO4, sulfuric acid, sulfurous acid. So this is the writing method of the structures. Okay. So so many structures are in your textbook. Nearly 20 structures are there. See, out of the 20 structure, you can expect 2 or 3 structure in the board examination. So practice is the structures. Okay. Thank you, students. Hi students. See, today we were seeing the P block element, that is group 15, 16, 17 and the 18 elements. See, we were discussed here that reaction types, that is the complete the equation, that is also we were discussed here. Then that reasoning type questions, then the reactivity, order of the reactivity, like bond dissociation enthalpy, decreasing order, the increasing order, all these things we were seeing in this video. And the structure also we were seeing. See, many structures I have discussed in that lecture video. Just go through that video, you can get a more clarity for the drawing the structure. So you have to concentrate these things in this lesson, you can get a more mark in this lesson. See, usually that inorganic chemistry having 19 marks, there is no separate lesson wise mark. So the whole part, that's mean in this academic year 2021 you have 3 lessons in the inorganic chemistry. So just do well your examination.